What's up, everybody? It's Tyler from Dirt Road Country here. I have a super special guest on here with me. He just put out a brand new album called Go Down Singin'. It's got 11 great songs, and it is country as it gets. Chase Rice joins me. Chase, what's going on, man?
What's up, buddy?
Not much. I'm excited that your album's out there for everybody to listen to. Like I said, 11 great songs, and it's your first record out there as an independent artist. Congratulations on the release.
Thank you. My earlier albums, I think it might have been an EP. I can't remember. I had a couple as an independent, right when you're starting, like most people do.
Yeah,
But then I signed on with Sony, then Broken Bow, and both great labels, both absolutely still crushing it. But label life ain't for me. I've learned that the hard way over the years. I don't know. I guess I'm not a radio darling, like I thought I was years ago. So yeah, it's fun to be able to put out music that you love and music that you have complete freedom over, not just how it's written or how it's done, but when you put it out. It's pretty cool.
I love it, dude. And something that comes to my mind when I listen to the record, I felt like it came out at a perfect time from the listening standpoint. Because we're going into the fall, and when I listen to the album, one song that encapsulates the whole sound for me is "Oh Tennessee." I just picture myself like driving up I-75 into Nashville and going up there through the mountains in the fall time. It just has those perfect vibes to it. So I thought it was like the perfect time to release the album.
Yeah, it is a very well. I wrote all these songs on a guitar too, as opposed to tracks and kind of what's taken over Nashville in the last 12 years. But that's how I write my songs now. I'm back to writing just there's no tracks. It's all me and a guitar, which lends itself to it's fire pit music. It's like I want to sit around a fire pit with some friends, and I love playing these songs around a fire pit. That's what it's built for. That's what they were written for, and you bring them to life a little bit on the production side of it, which Oscar Charles is my producer the last two albums, and he's just awesome, man. He gets what I want to do. But yeah, it's fire side music. Like you want to play around a fire with your buddies or with some girls around, and that's what it's built for.
I love that. And as you look at the album cover, noticing as a fan, the last album you put out was the picture of your dad holding those two beer cans, and now this new album is practically the picture of you replicating that image. How personal is this album to you and making that the album cover and everything like that?
Well, it's real. That's family. I mean, that's as personal as it gets. But my dad was a great man. I lost him when I was 22 years old, and our whole family, went through turmoil through all of that. He was he was the rock of the family. So losing him was tough. But I feel like through the healing of over the years and just acceptance of losing my dad at such a young age is helped turn me into the guy that I am today, which is a guy that still needs a lot of work. But it's okay. That's what life's for. Figuring that out as you go. But to put him on the cover of the Cowboys record was deeply personal because that's putting your dad, who doesn't have a say in the matter anymore, like on blast. But the music was fitting, and it's music I believe he'd be proud of. So that's why I went ahead and I got permission from my family. Just you guys cool if I do this? They all loved it. It's a classic picture of him. And then the Go Down Singing record was we mirrored that image on purpose because of what we just put out, the Fireside Sessions. I wanted it to be my dad, then I wanted it to be me. And the Fireside Sessions is Cowboys record and the Go Down Singing record um, together, and it's all acoustic, featuring all the songwriters. And that's the picture of me and my dad standing next to each other, which is a special picture to have because I've never seen that. I've never seen me and my dad as grown men standing next to each other. It's obviously fake because we never got that, but it's a cool little trilogy of those three albums together. And it's done now. The Fireside Sessions ended that. That's a part of my career that I'll be done with, and hopefully people continue to enjoy it. But I'm moving on to another record early as I can next year, called Eldora, which we wrote in Colorado. So I'm done with that phase of my life. We're moving on to something different.
So is that the reason why you left You and 85 as the last song on the record?
Yeah, it's just kind of encapsulates the entire thing, especially that bridge there. It says, "You made me all of who I am today, but you never got to know the kid with your face. So if I could have one thing, be us man to man, a couple course banquets in hand." So it's that wish of wanting that moment
Yeah.
that I've never gotten to have with my dad that kind of I get to have now, at least emotionally and mentally. And looking at that picture, it's like, what would that look like? Now I know what that looks like because we got that picture of me and my dad double fisting those banquets together. And one day, may get to have that moment. I don't know if you can drink Coors Banquet in heaven, but I sure hope so.
Well, there was a quote that I wanted to pull from another article that I saw, and you talked about this with Country Town. I think it was back in August. Before the album came out, you said that this is the least mainstream album you've ever put out, and it's had the least mainstream success, but the ticket sales are the best they've ever been. So the question I have from that is, how does this speak to you about how great your fan base is and just having the feeling of being able to put out the music that you truly love?
Well, I think when people come to a show or buy into an artist, I mean, there's ways you can look at it for success outside of this song. I have 10 number ones or whatever. I don't. I've only had two, but um, the way that I look at it is ticket sales and merchandise sales. If people are coming to your show, you're packing places out. Now it depends on where I am. If I play somewhere I've never been, it's like, oh, not too many people showed up to that one. Um, but a lot of the places, markets that I've played and done well on over the years, a lot of people are showing up. Ticket sales are doing really well. But the biggest part of that is merchandise sales, because then they're not just coming to hear Eyes on You or drinking beer, talking about it, man. They're coming. If you sell merch, that means throughout the show, they bought into who you are as a person and as an artist, which is huge. Because then, like I said, it's not just about one song; it's about you, and they want to hear your songs and your albums. So I would encourage anybody to if you're gonna listen to me, listen to the I Hate Cowboys record and the Go Down Singing record. Those are the only two albums that I've ever put out where I actually let you get to know who I am. And you're gonna hear and see even more of that on the Eldora album next year. Like I'm just in that groove of making music that I love and appreciate, and it's real to me, not chasing anything, but just kind of creating our own thing. So a lot of good stuff happening right now.
I love that. I can't wait for the new album too. And there's something I wanted to mention that's taking place on October 26th. It is the concert for Carolina. It's taking place at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. And it's the event it's raising all the funds for those affected from the hurricane and just a tremendous amount of damage that took place in Western Carolina and everything. So, how special is that for you to go back home and be able to participate in that?
Um, I just think it's a gift from God to have guys like Luke Combs, Eric Church, the Avett brothers, James Taylor, to have all those resources for Carolina, all from the same area. Like Eric and I went to schools that played each other in high school. Luke and I went to the same high school. And so when I got that text from Luke saying, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Are you available?" I said, "Yeah, buddy, I'm available." I turned down like four different things that weekend for whatever reason. I was just like, no, I'm gonna take this weekend off. And that I believe that's why, because we need to do something for our home place and we have the ability to. So to have that many great artists come together and have Luke lead the charge on that and put it together, it's gonna raise so much money. And it's the way the world these days, people are going to forget about it. People already have forgotten about it. But Carolina needs to know that they're not going to be forgotten. They're not going to be left alone. And the cavalry's coming, and we're not just in the form of you know money, but also boots on the ground. There's a lot of people helping out around there. So it's really special that Luke's doing that, and I'm just appreciative that he asked me to be a part of it because it's going to be a lot of good done that night.
It sure is. And the live stream too. I know I'll be tuning into that, watching it all go down. And it's such a great event because I feel like I'm based in New Jersey, and I feel like the hurricane was not covered enough by the news, and you didn't really see enough about it and all the damage and everything going on. And to see an event like this happening is just so great.
Yeah, I mean that's the news. Every week something else comes up. The hurricane in Tampa shows up, and that's all they want to talk about. Which is that's just the way our world works. But there's also power in people. I think that's the most powerful thing. That's we are the most important thing that we have. And I know I talked to Brian Craig on the phone yesterday, and Brian Craig has a whole compound of family members called Craigtown right there outside of Fairview, North Carolina, and that town's gone. And not just the town and the buildings, but 13 of his family members are gone. Um, Lost both parents, lost his sister. And he called me asking me, he had 2 tickets already and he needed 5 more. And he just wanted to be able to say hey and get his mind off of life for a second. I said, Coach, whatever you need. He was my high school football coach. I said, Coach, whatever you need, I can't wait to see you and just hug you. I asked him how he was doing, how he was holding up, and couldn't talk on the phone for 2 minutes. And he's apologizing for not being able to hold it together. I'm like, that's the reality of the situation that we're dealing with. It's not just buildings gone. It's not just towns gone. It's lives completely shattered
Mhm.
from the way they knew it. His life will never be the same again. And but for one night we can come together, raise all that money, but also have that experience together in the memory of just know you were not forgotten. And this is gonna hold up long after this concert's over. They're gonna need some help. And I want Coach Craig to know that he'll never be alone. You know, he's got friends and family to be there with him.
Well, that's a great way to put it. I feel like that's the thing that doesn't get covered enough is the beauty of humanity and how people come together in times of need and just being real with each other. And that's something that I can take away from the albums that you've put out over the past couple of years. They're real, they're authentic, they're genuine. And going forward, I know myself, I'm just looking forward to hearing more from you. I appreciate you taking the time to join me on here. And folks, if you haven't streamed Go Down Singing, it is 11 songs of just fantastic music. I mean, it's just great. Chase, thank you so much.
Dude, thank you, and I appreciate you having me on here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting Eldora out next year. That to me is another level up of songwriting and just me figuring out who I am throughout this crazy transition that I've had the last few years. So I can't wait to get that out, and we'll talk about that one, down the line.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And we'll see you guys next time.